Wow. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's been a day. I can tell you what. Um, yeah. So my day has been a bit long and arduous, and my wife had to go in for a medical operation, but she's fine. She's working, sleeping peacefully as is her want. Post lens surgery, she went in for this RLE stuff. I hope everybody can hear me. Thank you all for coming. If everyone can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. So please shout out. There we go. All right. Yeah, had a bit of an issue. Don't ever. And one thing I just learned as a noob doing streams is do not ever um, update your machine 30 minutes before you start, because invariably, just like Windows, it doesn't want to do whatever it is you need it to do in the time that it's needed to do. So I am a little late, and I do apologize for that for everybody. If uh, It's been a hard day. I mean, there's been a lot going on. I mean, there's just been more discussion about what has happened on um, Okta. I believe we had some folks this morning talking about a web conference that had occurred where they had um, discussed. Let me see, where was that? It was the Okta press conference, and let me see, Okta press conference. There we go. Okay, so well, this is not CNN business, but let me see, where is it? So the CSO of the company had come online and had said that they were very sad by the things that happened. David Bradbury had claimed a sub-processor called Cytel um, was pretty much to blame for this, and that they had it was for all intents and purposes, a customer support representative type position. Um, and From the 16th through the 20th of January, somebody other than the person who owned the laptop had access to the devices that were that was on the system and was able to do things. They said I had seen, they said 360, oh, there, 16 through the 21st of 2022. And they said, according to the press release, I think they said 2.5% of their total number of customers. So they said 366 potential customers had been affected at this time. So if you do some math, 366 times, is 2.5%. So 366 times what, 50? So calculator. No, not camera. God bless. Calculator. So 366 times 50, roughly. They have around 18,500 customers that use Okta. If you follow the numbers. Bradbury said, greatly disappointed by the long period of time that transpired between our notification to Cytel and the issuance of the complete investigation report, and admitted that Okta should have moved more swiftly to understand the report's implications. But an email from the Cytel representative disputed how Okta characterized the report, saying the security breach did not impact legacy Cytel group systems or network. Only legacy Sykes network was affected. So one company was bought by another. May have been not legacy systems, but some of the new stuff. Interesting. So yeah, this is a different story than the one I read earlier. I was, again, because I was working remotely, even more remote than my own office, I didn't have access to my personal computer to be able to keep track of some of these things. So let me see. We have not found evidence of security breach of a client's systems or networks on legacy Sykes or Cytel Group side. The email also said that Cytel has no evidence of a data breach, but the company declined to say if it has the means such as logs to determine what, if any, data was accessed or exfiltrated by the attacker. Sitel will not name the forensics firm that investigated the breach. Yeah, there's a lot out there. I mean, Microsoft and Roblox have experienced similar targeted compromises. A lot of people are trying to guess if the attack on Microsoft that had happened today, saying that they did in fact, let's see, Microsoft breach, Bing, yeah, confirms, yeah, there we go. Microsoft can, oh, there you go, TechCrunch. Boy, TechCrunch is just killing it today on coverage. Confirms Lapsus breach after hackers published Bing Cortana source code. In a blog post published hours after Lapsus posted a torrent containing source code from Bing, Bing Maps, and Cortana. Microsoft revealed a single employee's account was compromised by the hacking group, granting the attackers limited access to Microsoft systems and allowing theft at the company's source. Hey, Binary Rip, what's up? Yeah, it's how you doing? Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. And yeah, it's been a rough day if you're a blue teamer from what I gathered. So also for everybody who may have been watching last night, I think I fixed the issues with the encoding. I was trying to use a 1080p output with a less good encoding method. Hey, so oh, we have a few followers. Oh my goodness. Let me see. We have, let's see, the Doozer, Born Again Shell, Kill Process 9, Shiva EMM, Sharma JI, and Yasinops. Oh, very cool. Well, Binary, spent the afternoon hanging out in my second office, which is now my car. I took my wife for medical procedure to make sure that she was okay. Nothing major. She had something called RLE done. I don't know what the it had something to do with removal of her eye lens. RLE vision. Let me see. It is called refractive lens exchange. There you go. So she had her lenses taken off, and she's taking a nap right now because she's post-surgery. But it's pretty much your lenses get old and they start degrading. You know, the ones that you were born with, and what they do is they go in and replace the lens with a brand new one. So she's getting new fiber optics or new optics, kind of like the Hubble telescope. So she'll be able to see better permanently. Permanently now. So yeah, she's good. She's recovering. But yeah, it's apparently the eye is one of the most the quickest to heal kind of items. Oh, hello. Oh my goodness. Hang on a second. You're awake. What's up? You okay? You okay? You know where you're at? Okay. You need something? Sorry, y'all. Okay, well, that's me. So I appreciate everybody waiting. Convalescence and what have you. She comes first. My family comes first. The Breaksec family always comes first. Miss Berlin, Mr. Betcher. So thank you for being patient with me here. I hope you enjoy. Thank you, Binary. I hope you enjoyed the view of my puffy and my meat wad hat that my friend had knitted for me. So yeah, the RLE stuff. So she woke up from her nap a little groggy here. They gave her some medications for anxiety and stuff, and the doctor said she'd probably wake up or go to sleep for a little bit. But yeah, she was saying that one of the eyes didn't get all the numbing that it needed to, and she felt a little pressure, and that just caused the adrenaline to spike because you got little metal things poking at your eyeball, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. They'd have to put my ass out because there's no way I could do that. It's like go and get a filling done. I got to have gas or I got to have something. And now they've gotten to the point where they know and they just numb me up with this like Novocaine stuff on a Q-tip or something. So it used to be gas, but I guess they realized the gas was too expensive or something. So, but yeah. Yeah, so that's what it is, Gotta take care of her. She'll be better by morning, but yeah, for now I'm playing nurse, if you will. So anyway, back to where we were. Thank you to Yasinops and Sharma G and Shiva EMM and Kill Process 9 and Born Again Shell and the Doozer, all for joining. It's very much appreciative of hope you're finding value in what we're talking about today, and I apologize if there was a bit of dead air there. I actually didn't expect her to wake up, so because I was hoping she would sleep longer because she needs to. But so yeah, Microsoft is claiming loss of source code from these areas. The attackers had limited access to Microsoft systems and allowing some removal. I had seen some of the other stories that I'd seen said 40 gigs worth of data, which I don't know. You could probably get 40 gigs off a source code repo from somebody's laptop or something. I can't imagine they would have full access to everything, but they called them Dev 0537. I think there was another word for them, Lily, Corpse Lily or something like that. So they said even the organization's help desk, they even called the organization's help desk and attempted to convince support personnel to reset a privileged account credentials. Wow. Okay. The group used the previously gathered information. See, this is why it's so important to know, when you're having red teams go in and do your OSINT and your reconnaissance, that you're actually do a good job of that, because that's what they're doing here. They were attempting to use social engineering to gain access or to gain additional persistence to those systems. So if the help desk personnel had been successfully engineered to give them those credentials. Hey, I lost access to my system. Here's my name, that kind of stuff. So sounds like it wasn't completely effective. So that's good. The other thing is all the stories that we've been talking about recently, NVIDIA, Samsung, Ubisoft, all of those. I don't know. So this is complete conjecture, and I hope it will come out eventually, but it seems awfully suspect that we're now finding out about Okta at the same time all of these other attacks have been occurring. So it could be that the support personnel or the support person that they got access to had access or had the ability to get in to some of these networks and do things like reset credentials or password resets or what have you. So it's rough. And so for those of you who are working at companies, if you have been working here, what is what's been the barometer at your company on Okta? I mean, does anybody here, have? I guess you don't want to out yourselves, but I mean, do you have stories from people that you know that have Okta, or I mean, what has it been like? I mean, I'd imagine there's been a number of meetings with senior leadership asking about things like what are our options? What should we do? We're using a single service, an SSO or federated login like this. What does that get us in the end? So, what are our options if we decided we don't want to use this vendor and have to move to someone else? How difficult will that be? How much will it cost? So let's see. Okta confirmed the so 2.5% of its 15,000 customers. Okay, so that math don't work. They said 300. Okay, so wait, Okta 366 customers. Right. So according to Dark Reading, this is why you don't run updates before a stream. So actually, I've seen other folks that say don't ever update your stuff once you've gotten set up and ready to go. Okay, so Cyberscoop. All right, so Cyberscoop is saying the same thing. They said Wednesday, 366 customer accounts were potentially accessed as part of the. Okay, so customer accounts, that doesn't necessarily mean all 366 were with one, with different 366 different customers. I did hear about this. People were very unhappy about the 9-minute Zoom call today that happened at, I want to say it was super early Pacific time. It was like 7, 8 a.m. Eastern time. So they said in a 9-minute call, the CSO, David Bradbury, he was pretty much wrote verbatim from the blog post that they had put out. And there was supposed to be another story, another WebEx or whatever it is, that was supposed to happen later today or earlier today. I haven't heard anything back, but I was wondering if it was going to be a lot of the same stuff, if they were catching the same information or if they had updated it at all. So laptop belonging to contractor was Sitel. Yeah, was accessed. What is Sitel? Let's go look and see what Sitel is. Sitel. It is a global leader contract. Use only necessary cookies. I hate that thing. Across all business sectors, we partner with clients to overcome their unique customer experience challenges and help them realize tangible results. Okay. So what kind of products and services do they put out? Team collaboration tools, virtual communication platforms, omni-channel hubs. Wow. This reads like a customer experience. So they're a CX company, CX learning, CX technology, CX operations, analytics, and digital. So content strategy, social engagement. So they're a people company. They do, and they do a lot of stuff. Secure credit card wow, this is like a kitchen sink of social fraud engineering, quality assurance automation. Okay, where's the company located? Let's see, locations. Let's go see, shall we? Oof. I wonder if their site's getting blown up with people trying to find out what the hell they are, because that site is slow. Okay, let's not worry about that. Okay. So, of course, Labs has posted screenshots of the incident to the Telegram network, visual evidence. So they had let's see, we have, man, things are just super slow. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Yeah, this is what happens when you accident. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, Okta may have been compromised. The big thing was that I found that they waited almost 2 months for the forensics report to know if they had actually been, invaded or not, or breached or not. And it's just unfortunate, because the original blog post that came out was very typical of what you would see at a normal, quote unquote, normal company, where it's like, oh, we suffered a security incident. No, customer data has been breached this time. And then it's like, wait for it. Next one. Oh, yeah, we might have lost some stuff. Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to see, as they progress here, when they're giving up more information, they're going to have a better idea of the amount of stuff, literally, that has been hit. So I think we're going to see more, I think we'll see a more thorough understanding of what got taken, or what was done, as soon as the lawyers decide they can, what they're going to be able to do. So, but yeah, I mean, you see that progression normally every time with other companies. It's like, oh, your security and privacy are very important to us, something. No, data has been taken, whatever. And then it's like, oh, no, our bad, it was taken. So yeah, there's just a lot there to go through and to process. Then I don't think we'll see the end of that. I was unfortunate, because there's a lot of folks, especially on our own Slack channel, that are like super surprised about the response and how they flubbed it. Because I mean, every time that this is one of those linchpin technologies, that you worry about whether or not they're going to, they underpinned a lot of the internet, and, as security people are like, well, we need to get rid of passwords. You need to use something like an Okta or Duo or whatever. And it's like, yeah, what happens when your Okta or your Duos or your whoever's get popped? What are you going to do then? Is it like, do we give out YubiKeys and hard tokens and use those, or do we use these instead? And I mean, they're not perfect, but they're better than being completely owned by something outside of your control. And this is a prime example of a supply chain security issue. In this case, it's not an NPM module, but it's something. So yeah, it's all about control, right? And what you can and can't control. I've seen, we were talking in our Discord and in our Slack about the supply chain is about control, and with open source software, with software that's out of the cloud-based stuff, you don't really have a lot of control over those things. So you're going to find yourself with a different risk profile if people, especially if you're lawyers or if you're insurance folks, if you've decentralized everything. I wonder what this will do in terms of management of your security controls. If you have to put in your threat model, well, what happens if the security controls that you're asking to put in to solve something else actually get popped? We're talking about layers upon layers, onion layers, if you will, on these things. So anyway, all right. Well, we've beat that horse to death. I think there's going to be more horses to whoop on this, because as we see more people who are coming out about this, I mean, we may see more companies that have been hit by this. If I had access to 366 accounts, I mean, we've only heard from Roblox, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Samsung, Ubisoft. I mean, there's only what, 5, 6, I would say less than 10 maybe, that we've heard of. Hey, Sidestep, what's up? Had some issues with my stream, and I made the horrible mistake of taking the latest Windows 11 Insider release and then not telling it to install later, like much later. So it took me about 35 minutes to get through the latest Windows update, and then not everything is working as completely as planned. Like I didn't hear the music playing in the Streamlabs stuff. So I've got to go figure out what's up. And it looks like Windows may have changed some audio subsystem stuff. I'm seeing some weird looking icons and some new icon looking things here. Technically, I don't have anybody on this call or stream with me, so I could take these off. But yeah, Windows 11, the Insider Preview is not something you want to be test driving while you're trying to do a stream. So yeah, sounds like normal Windows stuff. Well, normally that doesn't hit me, and when I upgraded to Windows 11, I you know, told myself I wasn't going to do all those things like try to update things ahead of time. But yeah, it was I was like, well, it's not Patch Tuesday. It's a little late for Patch Tuesday this week. So, but yeah, it was a Windows Insider Preview. So they picked a good time to do it right in the middle of a major security issue and what have you. Oh, by the way, one last thing, Okta stock. So if you are looking for a stock deal, so Okta closed down almost $18 today. So the one thing I will say is, so they were trading around, let me see, 166, and then they went down. So what's going to happen now, you wonder? There's some people on Twitter, they're like, oh, no, they're completely done, whatever. It's going to be trust and whatever. Buy Okta. That's all I'm saying. The one thing, and I'll give you an example. Let me see. SolarWinds stock. So SolarWinds is at 1330. Let's go look year to date. So let's see. So they were here. Let me see. Oh, 1 year ago. There we go. So let's see. July 20th. That was okay. 5 years. So when did they get hit? Looks like they got hit right here. 2020. Yeah. And then they went down. They went down to about, let's see. They bottomed out around $15 a share. And then they went back up. Now, SolarWinds being what they are, I mean, they have tanked. So this is not a good example. My bad. I think, let me see, Mandiant. I think Mandiant stock was one. Anyway, my point is, the way things go with breaches, they get breached, stock goes down, they apologize, we'll do better, stock bumps back up. As you can see, they did bump back up. They did recover a little bit from their original. So you're going to see, and this isn't stock advice. I'm not telling you hodl, buy all the Lambos and whatevers. The high level, so sidestep. So from what I understand, there was a third party that got owned from the 16th through the 21st of January. One of the customer experience or customer support people at a company called Sitel, Sitel. Let me just reopen this. Control Shift T is your friend. Okay, so that is so. According to Cyberscoop, they said has not been breached. 5-day window where an attacker had access to a support engineer's laptop. The support engineer was with a company called Sitel, which we did a look at what Sitel was, and they're like a customer experience or customer engagement company. And 366 customer accounts have been accessed, which I'm not sure if it's 366 companies or 366 customers at X number of companies. There's a complete difference there. So the hackers were detected and booted from the network according to Okta, or Sitel's network, and so yeah, that's the big thing. And then Microsoft came out and said that they got hacked. 40 gigs of their data from Cortana, Bing, and Bing Maps were taken. And a single employee account was compromised, and apparently the attackers, which they assume is Lapsus Dev 0537, were trying to contact support personnel to get access to the group. Used the previously gathered information, so profile pictures had a native English sounding speaker, call speaker, contact the help desk personnel to enhance their social engineering lures. So they had somebody who speaks fairly decent English to come in and say, hi, my name is Tim. I'm trying to get into my account. It died. I got locked out. Oh my God, stupid IT, whatever. Ha ha ha. So I am surmising that we have not seen the last of companies that have been breached. Okta, depending, so they say 2.5% of their 15,000 customers. And 366 accounts. Now it could be customer accounts being each individual customer. So there's potentially 366 companies, or you've got 366 accounts across 15, 20, 30 companies or something like that, but if I was Lapsus, I would have divided and conquered at that point. I would have taken all of the accounts we had access to, and I would have started banging on them immediately. So we may still see another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a few more of these before it's over with. About, we got them in there, they got access. So we may see some more stuff. Yeah. But yeah, they got source code. So, if you use some Bing or Bing Maps or Cortana, you'll be, I'm sure that there'll be a torrent somewhere of that source code. We may see future Windows updates for Cortana and Bing because of these issues. But Microsoft is quick to also add, no customer code or data was compromised. So this is the same playbook that Okta just said. Well, the first thing they said was, oh, no customer data was compromised. And then they came back a few days later, well, customer code was compromised. So we're going to, they said our cybersecurity response teams engaged to remediate the compromised account and prevent further activity. So I know people who work at Microsoft on the IR team and the red teams. That's their business. If they don't know how to contain this stuff correctly and they don't have proper logging in, then there's going to be some heads rolling on that. So, those folks know what they're doing. So, So let me see what else. As if there wasn't enough stuff to talk about. Let me see. Dialpad partners. Dialpad? No, not dialpad.com. Shut up. Really? No, come on, man. Dialpad. Sorry, I'm going down rabbit hole here. It's not Dialpad. Seriously? Come on, man. I used to use a product called dialpad.com back in the day when I was on Diego Garcia as a way to get around the having to pay 80 cents a minute plus 5 cents a minute. Or no, 80 cents for, no, $1 for the connection fee plus 80 cents a minute for phone calls back to the States when I was stationed there in 2000, 2001. And I was a member of the computer club, so I got to use the computers in the computer club on the island. And this was before Zoom and meetups and Hangouts and all that stuff. So it was nobody could afford a Cisco WebEx conference call, and you couldn't get a hook flash in the military to come back to the States. So you would use and go to dialpad.com, and you'd get a very crackly, like AM almost radio-like voice, but you could send internet telephony over the internet through dial-up, no less. So you were using a phone connection to make a phone call, but not over the phone. So, yeah. I wonder if dialpad.com still exists. Dialpad.com. The other thing was we had a lot of... okay. Wow. Okay, so Dialpad has upgraded a little bit. Wow. All right. Sorry, they don't sponsor the show, but wow, that's definitely a different UI than I remember. But it has been 20 years, so looks like Dialpad's become like another Zoom or something. Anyway, sorry. Don't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but it just shook some brain plaque loose. So yeah, yeah. So sidestep as one last thing. InfoSec Twitter has been kind of ugly to Okta about how they have handled the compromise. And, it's been almost 2 months since they had been told about the issue, and they were just waiting for a forensics report to come back about, the extent of the issues. So, Bradbury says he's greatly disappointed by the long period of time that transpired between our notification to Sitel and the issuance of the investigation report. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They said the report was turned over on 17 March. So they actually have known for almost 6 additional days. What I wonder about is there are new guidelines about breach reporting that has been passed here in the States. Let me see. Breach reporting, U.S. law. So let me see, where is it? They just talked about that just being passed. Yeah, there we go. So expansive federal breach reporting requirements become law, and it happened on March 15th, 2 days after or before Okta got the report. So President Biden signed the law. Significant new federal breach reporting legislation could vastly expand data breach notice requirements far beyond regulated entities and entities processing personal data. Let's see. Organizations in certain critical infrastructure sectors, ding, 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 like Okta, because I believe in the press release that Brad had put out, the CSO said that their FedRAMP and PCI, FedRAMP, at least I remember FedRAMP, which is kind of a big deal because that's the government accountability group. But they said, they must report substantial cybersecurity incidents to DHS within 72 hours after the organization reasonably believes the cyber incident has occurred. Covered entities will also be required to report ransom payments within 24 hours of making a payment in response to a ransomware attack. So 2 days before they get their forensics report back, they pass this law, and then Okta comes in. I'm wondering, and I'm expecting there to be some kind of congressional testimony about Okta, and they just had that supply chain security conference thing that happened in January, I believe. Was Okta one of the members of that? Let's go see. Congress, no, not Congress, White House, supply chain conference. We talked about it with Amelie. The Summit on Global Supply Chain Resilience. Yes, this was not October 31st. No. Let me see. It was within the last couple of months, but anyway, it was in response to some of the attacks that had happened. Let me see, past month. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so they announced a supply chain initiative, White House supply chain initiative, freight logistics optimization works. Okay. Well, anyway, back in January, I think they had a summit to talk about that. We talked about it on the podcast with Adam Baldwin and Amelie Coran, Web Jedi, about what do we do in response to, and I think the color and the faker stuff had just come out where the developer just said, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And we were talking about open source sustainability. And then, of course, the one with the NPM guy who, was protesting the war in Russia. Node IPC, I believe, was the package name. So, but yeah, so this is going to be interesting with regards to how much Okta has to disclose now that this is a law of the land and it was signed in. Whew. Sidestep, that's a good question. Sidestep says, so would Okta be considered an organization under critical infrastructure? It depends on what Okta is being used for, isn't it? I mean, let's think about this. I mean, they mentioned FedRAMP specifically. So in this case, it's one of the requirements, that you have some kind of federated login. I think FedRAMP requires some kind of federated login. Let me see, FedRAMP, Okta. Configuring FedRAMP for FedRAMP compliance. Yeah, so Okta is for government agencies using Okta as their identity provider. There are certain settings required in order to maintain FedRAMP compliance. Okta has achieved FedRAMP moderate authority to operate ATO, and this white paper details settings required to meet FedRAMP moderate IL2 or IL4 in your Okta instance. So they have a whole white paper about, FedRAMP. So in this case, in order to meet your FedRAMP requirements, I would say in some cases Okta may be critical to your business's infrastructure. Now, whether they're critical infrastructure, I mean, there's 17 different industries considered critical infrastructure. I would, in the right arguments, you could probably say anything is critical infrastructure, whether it be a dam or whether it be, your Amazon cloud instances, your Google computes, or your, Microsoft Azures. I believe the Web Jedi contract, which the DoD signed a couple years ago, was, I would assume, being able to, handle massive amounts of information like the Web Jedi contract would be considered critical infrastructure. So if, government entities wanted to use Okta for that, that's definitely something you could, argue. So you configure your SIM, your Okta settings, document your security policies, FICAM. That's a new one. I don't know what FICAM stands for. But yeah, they've got all the different controls here, enabling available automation to automatically disable inactive accounts, session timeouts 15 minutes or less in the admin panel. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of controls here for your FedRAMP requirements. So just for moderate, I mean, I remember working at a company where, yeah, FedRAMP high was your bag because we were wanting to play in the big boy arena, and it was like, if you weren't high, then nobody wants to use you. So there you go. So there's even more stringent requirements, like enable the available automation to disable inactive accounts after 35 days of non-use. That was a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that. But yeah, and that's the list right there. I mean, it's not a big list, but if you have been compromised, I mean, that puts your identity provider is now at risk. There's a trust issue, right? So let's see. All right. Let me see. What did they say? A reporting requirement extends to substantial cyber incidents. So I don't think it matters. I think the reporting requirement extends to substantial cyber incidents impacting business and industrial operations, as well as losses of confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So I would say yes, they are going to be considered critical infrastructure, this affects 15,000 companies at least in the U.S. And subsidiaries. So, yeah. That is rough. I don't think we've seen the end of this. I think we're gonna see some, Facebook-esque congressional hearings about, what exactly went wrong, and some posturing, and, here, and this is what I think. And you aren't wrong, Sidestep, about SSOs being a single point of getting owned. But, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's either, it's federated for a reason, right? Because the idea is you could create, the one thing you don't want to do is try to roll your own SSO. You don't roll your own crypto, you don't roll your own authentication, and you don't roll your own protocols. Those are, I've added the protocol thing just recently, ironically enough. But those the first two, you don't roll your own crypto, you don't roll your own authentication mechanism. There's enough standardization out there. You should just be able to use AES GCM 256 if you want to be overkill. 128 is still okay, good. But yeah, don't roll your own authentication mechanism, because you don't know how to do it right, and you're gonna screw it up. So But yeah, now protocols as well. So let me see. 8 screenshots, super username, Cloudflare. Yeah, Cloudflare was another one they said. There was no evidence Cloudflare had been compromised. Thankfully, we have multiple layers of security beyond Okta. All right, well, let's talk about that for a second. There is security in Okta. You're using it as an identity provider, but should you have different levels to your Okta? I mean, if your support personnel, your customer experience folks, like the Sitel folks, got hit, what would they have access to? Because this is just identity management, right? So it's just proving they are who they say they are. You should still have controls in place to not laterally move. So, the person from Sitel should not have the same access as your software developer maybe. Now, depends on what the job was that the person had access to. Your organization this should not be a local, Okta should not be the local host of your company. If you pop one person, they have access to everything. You should still have authentication controls, roles-based access. You should still have all of that inside of your organization. This is just another way of, vetting who they say they are. Let me see. There was who said that today? Was that Mick Douglas? Just to let you know, I have asked Mick Douglas to join us this weekend. Mick Douglas is Better Safety Net. He has a lot of great, excellent discussion. SANS instructor as well. We've had him on the show a couple of times. Let me see. What did he say? Linux log parsing cheat sheet. Ooh, that's a good one. I love these tools. Okay. Would be nice if those. Oh, here's a link to that tweet. Let me see. Where is Uber? He had a what was it? He had mentioned something. We're gonna talk about a bunch of his stuff because he has just been on fire recently with some of his tweets and his threads. There we go. What did he say? Okta said just now in the call 366 word. Does anybody understand why you have backend access from a PC where RDP is possible from an outside network? Yeah, Sitel may have been over a VPN to a VDI, right. Let me see. No. He was. I'll have to find it later. If I find it, I'll post it up on our Twitter. And of course, this is what I had to deal with. It was sitting at like 93% for freaking ever. So, yeah, that was my computer. So, but yeah, I mean, he's just been really on the ball with a lot of that stuff, talking about, and it's actionable information. It's not like a bunch of conjecture or FUD or whatever, but he's been on the phone talking with a lot of customers about, oh my God, we use Okta, what's going to happen? So he's been a real good voice of reason that I've seen, that hasn't been like, oh my God, the world is ending, delete all of your Oktas and go on. So really excellent and really level-headed thinking in this case. Definitely not something that people. It's refreshing to see. I mean, in that case. So, here's a story from Krebs. I'm sure Krebs is going to be doxing people left and right here on this. So, I haven't had a chance to look at that one yet. But if anybody is interested in the Krebs on security article there, relatively new cybercrime group. Funny thing is, I wonder if it's really new or if it's just a bunch of disgruntled ex-employees from another group that decided to get together and office space it, or something. He's mentioning Vodafone as well, in addition to Nvidia and Samsung. So Tuesday, I think was it Tuesday night? Tuesday night. I want to say Tuesday night was when we heard about that. So let me see what's he got here. Telegram channel has grown to more 45,000 subscribers. Wow. Wow. So here's my question. Obviously, Lapsus has 45,000 subscribers. They're more popular than half, or I would say greater than half of InfoSec Twitter. They have to know that for right now they're just doing this for show, right? This is attention grabbing, and people are just joining the Telegram channel, one for intelligence, but it's just to see whatever antics are going on. So I have a feeling at some point that Telegram channel is going to just be all the people that are gawking and watching Lapsus occur, and then Lapsus is going to go off and make their own new channel. Microsoft points to an ad that Lapsus posted there offering to recruit insiders at mobile phone providers, large software and gaming companies, hosting firms, and call centers. $20,000 a week. Good God. The sad thing is there's going to be people that are going to take them up on that. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a distraction, but some people like watching a train wreck as it happens, so if you like using Telegram, I guess that's, exciting opportunity for a mobile carrier employee. My name is Alex. I'm looking for insiders at T-Mobile, Amazon, or Verizon, or AT&T. Low risk for you and me, plus you will get paid insanely well. SIM swapping 1 or 2 customers a week. Oh my God. So you don't know if that's legit or not. I do not. If all of you are over there going, $20,000 a week, don't do that shit, because one, we're not smart enough to not get caught. And is it worth you getting fired and or having to pay restitution, which may be more than $20,000 if you're found out? So don't do this shit. Don't be stupid. So I'm not saying anybody who's chatting with me right now would do that, but just don't be stupid and think that you're gonna get $20,000 a week for that. Microsoft said Lapsus has been known to target personal email accounts of employees at organizations they wish to hack, knowing that most employees these days use some sort of VPN to remotely access their employer's network. Right. Well, I mean, are you using your personal laptop to access your work VPN? Because that's not good either. Jesus, man, they are just ballsy. Look at that, Lapsus jobs. Yeah, that's nope. Oh, Allison Nixon, she's awesome. Yeah, 2221B. Yep. It's a hot mess. And are they anti-heroes? I mean, are people actually cheering them like a John McAfee or folks like that? Is like are they the new Anonymous, where people are like, oh my God, they're sticking it to the man. I want to see what else they can do. Is it a spectator sport? Like they want to watch the train wreck? I just don't get it. Maybe that's because I'm old and I actually like my job kind of, and yeah. Anywho, all right. I think it's probably been a slow news day because everybody's been on Okta. I didn't see anything else of note that is worth talking about. This is an ad, probably. This is an ad. Just so many things that look adware right now. It's like, great, $50 million to something called Theta Lake, whatever. I don't know who this person is, whatever, Yeah, the day's been stolen by Okta, so. Somebody had mentioned Hack the Box. I want to go check that out and see what the Academy is like with regards to maybe doing some stuff here, because I don't want to get too far ahead of my mentee, so let me see, log in. Hang on a second, y'all. I'm gonna drag my browser off screen here. So, Or I'm not going to drag my browser off screen. Let me hide it there for a second. Nothing like having that little pop-up box with all of your passwords and emails and stuff. Not passwords, but emails. All right. See, I've had a Hack the Box account long enough that it was from when I think the only thing that could be worse at this point is if a password locker got hacked, like a 1Password or Dashlane or some shit like that. So I think that would be the only worst thing. And they had some way to decrypt your password locker while you were poking around. What? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Oh, this is Hack the Box Academy. Okay. My bad. Okay. Let me do this up real quick here. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Date of birth. March. We'll do 17th because it's, St. Patrick's Day. And then 19. I don't think they need my real address and stuff. Oh, okay. ReCAPTCHA. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to poke around in here in the Hack the Box Academy to see, what they're teaching you with regards to the system as well. Because I do remember somebody saying they wanted to, play on Hack the Box instead. So, okay. It's telling me that is already taken. So let me just go ahead. Maybe I forgot my password and I just need to go and get it again. Password reset link. The funniest thing is I have often, set really complex passwords knowing that if I needed to get back in, I will just, send a password reset link. And that was my second factor auth. So I didn't have to worry about it if... There we go. All right, reset my password. Password. Doink. Okay. All right. Log in. Log in. Okay. Got it. Yes. Maybe later. Whatever. Before proceeding, please check your email for verification link if you did not receive the email. Okay. Oh, verify email address. Yeah, okay. There it is. Okay. Cool. All right. Ad block detected. Please note the technical support chat won't load if affected by any ad or script blockers. We request to whitelist our connections in your ad blocking plugin. No, I'm good. Thanks. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and allow that to continue. So, all right. There we are. Hello. There we go. Welcome to HTB Academy. Our training modules will cover 3 areas. The more you progress, the more those meters will fill. Interesting. So they're gaming it very much like the other place was. 17 viewers. Holy crap. Oh, I got rated. Thank you, Destroy Worlds. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hey, all the new raid people, tell me where you're from. I want to know where you're at, what time zone you're in. Oh my goodness, thank you, Destroy Worlds. It's very much appreciated. Oh, MT Tagger, thank you so much. I saw you streaming earlier. I would have sent my small pod of folks over to you, but yeah, I didn't have a chance. So, how everybody doing tonight? We were talking about the Okta stuff. I also just set up an HTB Academy stuff, but Sidestep and Binary here were with me talking about some of the Okta stuff. Anybody have a long day where they're dealing with the Okta pain, heartache? Any meetings with management trying to help them understand what the big deal is? Anything like that? while y'all are figuring that out, thank you, Destroy Worlds, for that. Thank you for following. I love it if y'all could follow or come and watch us. I was telling everybody we're gonna have Mick Douglas on this weekend for our podcast stream to talk about a lot of the stuff that he's been tweeting about, talking about defense, things you can do if you are affected by any and all of this stuff. Also he had some great discussions about what's going on with the cyber attacks that Russia is doing to pretty much everybody in response to the war in Ukraine. So we're gonna have him on. It's gonna be a good time. Mick is a good person. We've had him on several times to talk about various things, and he just has a very level head and a very he doesn't like to spread a lot of FUD. What he has is pretty solid advice. So if any of you are interested in hanging out and checking up on that, we'd love to have you. And we'll be having that. Thanks y'all for that. So let's see. So I'm checking out HTB Academy. I was doing some Try Hack Me stuff with my mentee, but a couple of folks were like, "Hey, HTB Academy is pretty good too." So just poking around here, understanding this. The UI looks nice. They're legit because they have a dark mode. That's always good. Okay. All right. Very cool. Need some guidance on which modules to study in order to obtain specific skill path or all the skill necessary for a job role? Click on paths. Okay. Introduction to Academy. Is this like, the instruction manual or something? I don't read the instructions. I'm just going to go ahead and skip on that. I don't know. Let me go see what this is about over here. I hope it's, let me see. All right. So module 1 sections, module 2 sections, module 3 section, module 4 section. Modules split into sections and a path maybe contain many modules. We'll dive deeper into the meanings of these following sections. Paths are collections of modules. Oh, by the way, the Academy was free. I didn't have to pay anything to sign up for this. So if you are looking for some extra training or, if you're one of those filthy CISSPs like me, these will be valid for potential CPE induction. So if you're interested in that. Speaking of CPEs, B-Side Seattle is coming up in May. So the CFP closes tomorrow, the 24th of March. If you're interested in, speaking at that, I think they're doing an in-person thing in May, 14th and 15th in Seattle, up here in Redmond, at Redmond Microsoft Campus. B-Sides Kansas City, I saw that one. It's in September, I think 24th and 25th. And I think B-Sides Kansas City is going on. You can check out their website, which is, I have some friends, Dork Phoenix, I think, is B-Sides Kansas City. It's a 2-day event. Yeah, there you go. Go check that one out. The CFP is next month. Looks like April 16th. They'll have a second round on May. So, if you're interested in doing that, it's in Kansas City. You can go get some Kansas City barbecue. Yeah. That would be almost worth the price of admission. So, Sidestep, you should come on up. We have InfoSec Campout also happening on the 26th and 27th of August. So that's our outdoor conference that I help organize. 26th, 27th, 28th of August. It's the weekend before Labor Day. Yes, May Memorial, yeah. So Labor Day. So we're going to do a 2-day camping event. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday noon, you got to get out. But we have RVs. We have I think we have 16 RV camping spots. So you bring a tent, you bring an RV, you bring your Tesla. You can camp in it. I tried camping in my Tesla last year. I would have done a few things differently, like, more padding in the back seat. But we have RV hookups. I mean, it's like camping in your backyard. We don't try to rough it here. So if you're interested, InfoSec Campout on Twitter, and we're doing all kinds of stuff. Modules are always focused on specific topics or tools to help students enhance their skill set in a particular area. Many modules are scenario-based to make an effort to follow steps that would be taken in a real-world assessment to make the material extremely useful and relevant for students who are new to InfoSec or students looking to enhance their knowledge in certain topic areas. Okay. Mark complete in red. Okay. Sections, table of contents. Yeah. My workstation is the Linux operating system, Parrot OS. Oh, Parrot OS. Oh, that's not bad. Prepackaged with many tools to assist you in the learning process. You can spawn at any time from the right side menu by practicing material. Okay. Let me see. All right. That's pretty good. Interactive sections stated previously require one or more answers from you in order to complete them. You can skip an interactive section by clicking next. All those sections will remain incomplete until you submit all correct answers. Oh, man. Crap. What is the name of the first section of this module? Oh, crap. Now I got to go back. Maybe it's introduction. Boy, I'm off to a good start, aren't I? Oh, God. Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, so that okay. I'm off to a good start. I'm already trying to figure out answers to things. Oh, how screwed am I when I actually get to something where I got to think? Oh, God. For those of you who are who don't know who I am, I'm Brian Brake. We being Miss Berlin, Amanda Berlin, Info Sister, and Brian Betcher, Betcher Pwned on Twitter, do the BrakeSec podcast, breaking down security. We've been doing it for about 9 years, and in the infinite jest that is my life, I decided to continue doing the audio podcast, but start Twitch streaming because I thought, well, perhaps audio podcasts are getting stale and should do something a little different to kind of shake it up. So this is what I'm doing now. These here won't necessarily be turned into audio podcasts, but when we have guests like McDouglas, or like a couple weeks ago we had Stacy Cameron and Shannon Noonan talking about automated process improvements and when to automate things, and we'll have other groups on. Ms. Berlin had mentioned partnering with a few other folks, a few other organizations on some offensive security items. We're talking with them about that. We'll do those as podcasts and put them out as a 30 to 45-minute podcast every week. So it's all homegrown. I do all the audio editing. I make all the mistakes. And in my day job, I'm a technical project manager for a company that everybody knows. So yeah, my job, I mentee. I do a local meetup here in Seattle called CSEC East. I also do a conference called InfoSec Campout. Started that 2 years ago, year before the pandemic. So we did one in 2019, and then we did one last year. Being outside, it was a lot easier than trying to do it in a stuffy hotel like a DerbyCon or Shmoo or something like that, or a B-Sides that was indoors. So it was easy enough to do outside. And just trying to educate, and it's been kind of one of my lifelong goals. So I hope everyone, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts about making the podcast or the stream here any better, just let me know. I would love to pick your brain. And if you want to come on and do a podcast with us, a podcast stream with us, you have a topic that you find interesting, please reach out, because everybody's a rock star on the podcast. We don't discriminate. Everybody has something to teach everyone. So we're all here to help out and learn. So, all right. To continue, interactive section. You can use this instance directly from below, or click full screen to open a full screen instance in a new browser window. Top left of the instance window, you'll see a few icons. Okay, the ones you'll find most is the bash terminal, right? Click start instance button. Okay, try to locate the bash terminal icon and click it. Okay. Type uname-a, press enter in the terminal window. This will return some useful information based on the commands. So let's go down here to the question. Based on the commands you executed, what is likely to be the operating system flavor of this instance? It is case sensitive. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Try to locate the bash. There. Okay. And uname-a. Okay, based on the commands, what is likely the operating system flavor from this instance. Case sensitive. Debian? No. Operating system flavor. Parrot. Oh, this doesn't bode well for me. This does not bode well at all. Specific flavor of the OS and its kernel. At least with Try Hack Me, you had a number of like asterisks, so you could give a rough idea of, well, I know that this is a 6-character, answer. So, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I'm freaking dying here. Fuck this noise. It's the name of a bird. Yeah, okay, great. Oh, that's going to be ugly. Yeah, that's going to get real. That's going to get a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah. If you're yelling at me while you're typing this, then you're in good spirits, because I'm yelling at myself inside. Oh, I just lost 2 people. Okay. Interactive section with targets. Sometimes we need to interact with live targets to make the learning process more effective and more realistic. Like my workstation, targets are also spawned on demand. If a section requires interaction with a target, you can spawn it from the bottom of the page in the top part of questions. Follow the steps below to complete this exercise. Spawn your target. Spawn my workstation if you haven't done so. From your workstation, open Firefox and browse the target URL and answer the question below. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, so let me see. Answer the questions below to complete the section and earn cubes. Okay. Target. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, this may be quick, because so sidestep. Yeah. All right. Let me interact with this thing, because the problem I had with that question was it said it was case sensitive, which, one of the reasons I was like, oh, all right, so this is the full screen, which is kind of nice. All right, so let me go, man. Okay, motherfucker. There it is. Man, you name. Okay, so uname-a prints all information. We could have gone -s for the kernel name. Sorry, man pages, for those of you who are not aware. The documentation in Linux. Some man pages are better than others. Some OSs have better documentation in their man pages than others. Ones like OpenBSD considered man pages to be buggy. So if you had something wrong with the man page, it was considered a bug, and you could send it. Yeah, there you go. Kernel version, kernel release, node name. So that's like the host name or the node name. You can print the machine hardware, -P's processor, hardware platform, operating system. There's a number of different things you can do in that for that line. Oh, I do like you can scroll through this. It's got a pagination system. Print all information in the order except -P and -I if unknown. So yeah, there's a number of different switches you could use for that. You can also do things like finding kernels. I believe, let me see, LSB release. I think that only works on CentOS Yeah, CentOS, Red Hat, and Fedora type have LSB release, which will tell you the kernel number or what have you. So yeah, that's on there. All right. I do like that you can, it's full size screen. So all right, answer the questions below to complete the session and earn cubes. You want to target 157 45 40 149. Time left 90 minutes. Okay. Okay, what are the questions? Okay, what is the proof text displayed in the target website you browsed? Okay. Is there more than one question? Okay, so there's questions here too. And there's a question here too. Answer the questions below to complete the section and earn cubes. What am I? Okay. Browse to the target URL. All right, so we need to go to copy. You can't copy the link. Wait, what is that? Copy. That's an image, so you can't even copy paste it. You got to fat finger it in. 157, 245. Ooh, we're getting a lot of stuff. Let's see. Foxy Proxy, that's cool. That's a good one. Cookie Manager, yeah. Cookie Quick Manager, yeah. Privacy Badger, all right. uBlock Origin, yeah. HTTPS everywhere, and Dark Reader. Okay, that's a good one. All right, so IP address 157.245.40. 157.245. 157.245.40. 149. 30,655. 149. 30,000. Goddamn. 655. Okay. Maybe I should have put HTTPS in front of it. Oh no, it's only HTTP. Did I put the wrong IP address in? 4149, 157, 245, nope, 245, not 254. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. So sidestep your question about the uname flag bit. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. So Linux is the OS. If you do, each one of those, I think spaces is a specific character. So if you did uname-p in this case, fucking hell, man. Like I said, it's just been one of them days, yo. So yeah, you get unknown or -i. You get unknown. You get n. That's the node name. So you get pwnbase. Let's see, uname-r. That's the kernel version, I believe. Uname. I mean, you can just go down the line, uname dash whatever. You can actually go uname. Yeah, I always considered flavors being like, see, I assumed Parrot. So when they said Parrot OS and they said it was case sensitive, I remember they said, oh, install this Parrot OS. So I went capital P-A-A-R-O-T OS. That was correct, but incorrect. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So, okay. And this IP address does not appear to be working. So, answer the questions below. Docker images will typically spawn more quickly than VMs. Click here to spawn the target system. I can't click there to spawn that system. I'm going to have to talk to them about this. Maybe I can talk to somebody on our Slack channel about it. Still not loading up. Actually, just gave an error. It's just like, oh, you timed out. Okay. And I put the right IP address. Please tell me I didn't put the wrong port number or some BS like that. 3655. Okay, yeah. So something running on a non-standard port. 3655 is a non-standard port for anything. So, oh, thank you, Infinite Logins. Vanny2SO, Ginger Root, thank you all for coming. I think we just hit 200 just from all of y'all joining us. So that's awesome. We hit a milestone, which doesn't happen for me a lot. So I do appreciate that. Okay, so this is not working. I don't know why that's not working, but let's see, can I connect modules that have either a Windows target Active Directory environment, require multiple hosts, or otherwise cannot be completed using a Docker image will have an accompanying VM or set of VMs. You can click to spawn this target the same way. If a target VM requires authentication, you'll be provided with credentials to authenticate via SSH, WinRM, RDP, etc. If you are not provided with credentials, it's safe to assume you must attack the platform from an unauthenticated standpoint unless otherwise instructed. Okay, that's kind of cool. We've talked about that a few times here on the stream about types of pen tests. And Try Hack Me, there were it's in various levels where you have complete access to all the source and everything, all the way down to here's a box, try to break in. So alternatively, you can choose to download a VPN key to interact with target VMs from your own attack box. Any targets? Yes, white box versus black box versus gray box or what have you. My workplace is trying to dissuade the use of such words to try, allow list, deny list, block list, allow list, those kinds of things. I just don't think we found a better example of that versus white box and black box on this, but yeah. You can see how much time your target has left under the IP address information. If your target expires, becomes unstable or unusable for any reason, feel free to click the orange arrows to spawn a fresh target. Each user can spawn their own dedicated targets. Any data saved in the target will be lost when the target either expires or a new target is spawned. Try this out by spawning the target below. Okay. Oh, see, I screwed the pooch. Okay, so all of these were examples up here because I, didn't quite grok what was going on there. So, what is the proof text displayed in the target website you've browsed? Okay, so let's give that a shot. That'll work. Everybody's probably screaming at me. It's the first time I've used this, by the way, for all the new folks that showed up. So I do appreciate your patience. Okay. So that one was easy enough. So that is the proof. Okay. Their clipboard appears to be a little better. Now it'll be interesting to see if I did not get this tag. Nope, I got that. Okay. All right, that's good. Okay, so Try Hack Me's clipboard's a bit janky. Hack the Box appears to be a bit more seamless in terms of like copying and pasting back and forth. If most of you who are longtime followers of us realize that I had some issues fat fingering some stuff in with Try Hack Me, and then I found out about the clipboard. Modules are aimed at you teaching a specific topic. They contain several sections and many are interactive. Modules can be standalone like the one you're currently working on, or they can be part of a path, which we will outline in the next section. You can browse available modules on the modules page and start training by clicking the start button on each relevant module card. All modules will require a certain amount of cubes to be unlocked. As we discussed previously, you can get more by completing interactive sections or choosing a subscription. Everything has a subscription these days, huh? Modules are split into 5 tiers. These tiers are an easy way to group modules into distinct categories based on their cost. Notice a high tier doesn't necessarily equate to a high difficulty. Tier 0 modules are free. There's a catch though. Tier 0 actually costs 10 cubes. However, they award the same amount by completing all questions. This is to incentivize our users to complete each module. Tier 1 modules cost 50 cubes and reward back to the users 10 if they complete all the questions. Tier 2, 100, 20. Tier 3, 500, 100. Tier 4, 1,000, 200 if they complete all the questions. You can add the modules, you plan to take your to-do list visible in your dashboard, add or remove a module from your to-do list, click the heart icon located in the top right part of each module card in the modules page. You can stop working a module anytime by navigating away or closing your browser. Your progress is saved every time you mark a section is complete. Skills assessment. Many but not all modules will have a final skills assessment in addition to the module exercise. In module exercise, it must be taken to reach full completion and earn all the cubes in module awards. Skill assessments are performed against a separate target host. These assessments aim to test the student's knowledge of the material covered within the module sections. Are designed to reinforce concepts presented in the module text. Depending on the module size and breadth and depth of the content, skills assessment may require multiple steps and contain multiple questions. Other modules may have skills assessment that only requires the student to perform a task, i.e. exploit web app vulnerability and submit a single flag. Completion is marked. A module is marked complete once all the sections are marked as completed. This includes interactive sections of the module, meaning you'll need to submit the correct answers. Okay, easy peasy. Paths are sets of modules that combine make a broader topic. Paths at large 0 to hero ones or smaller, more specialized ones targeting a specific set of topics. So who has the highest rating on Hack the Box? Pretty much everybody is on Hack the Box. I can't imagine you're not. Who has the highest here? I can't even tell you what mine looks like because mine's probably garbage, but let me go see. Oh, no, I don't have that yet. Oh, and you can just cheat and purchase cubes too. So how much is a cube? Oh, $490 a year. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oof. All right. So you get access to all modules up to tier 2. Direct access to the bug bounty hunter job role path. Oh, okay. Okay. Ponysec did that. My friend Ponysec on Twitter. I knew him when Ponysec. He was on. He was painting houses, and he was like, "I need to do something different." So he started doing bug bounty programs, and now he's gainfully employed as a pen tester, which was pretty awesome to see him and his metamorphosis. So exam vouchers. Okay. Oh wow! Look. HTB certified bug bounty hunter, $210. That's actually quite a decent deal. It seems like they're trying to be an OSCP killer or something like that. I mean, if they can give a cheaper version of this and they don't have to, cheaper than OSCP without the try harder mentality, that's pretty cool. Okay. I have 40 cubes. Yay. Okay. Let me go back over here. All right. For example, imagine a scenario where you're interested in following 2 imaginary paths, Active Directory attacks and defense and modern web attacks. Okay, both paths would make sense to some entry-level modules to teach you the basics of Active Directory and web applications. Once you complete the first path, given the paths share the same entry-level modules, you will automatically save time on your second path since you will start directly after the shared entry-level topics. Okay, that makes sense. So they're looking at, not to use the term synergy, but they're looking at, if there's certain types of attacks that are simpatico across all these things. So if you've done it in one, then you may already have done it in the others. So that's pretty cool how they've managed to create that similar process there. Start by picking your next module or path and happy learning. Pick your next path from the paths module or paths page, or pick your next module from the modules page. Okay. Well, let's go see. Intro to Academy. Yay, I got a shareable link. Yay. Okay. See, if I do that, though, then I'll start. Cool. All right, sidestep. No worries. Yeah. it may be that, this is better. I think it's just different strokes for different folks. You know what I mean? Some people like to try hack me stuff. Um, it's almost like, which Linux do you like, or what's your favorite web browser kind of thing. It's like some people are going to like hack the box. Some people, because of its you know history and origin. Some people are going to like try hack me. It just really depends. And I mean, there's enough of these out there that we're never going to get bored. There's always going to be something. It's going to be either this or try hack me or ring zero team or over the wire or under the wire. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff out there. And if you go to, I think, r/hacking Reddit, there's a super list there of like challenges and crypto challenges and crypt functions and reverse engineering challenges and stuff. And eventually we'll all get to the point where we'll just be playing around with reverse engineering and running strings on all the things. And that was pretty good. It was a pretty good rhyme. I'm the only one who said so. But so let me see. We have a module, Linux fundamentals. I don't want to say no. I won't use that because I actually learned some things when I was going through Bandit on Over the Wire about Linux commands that I didn't know. Like what was that command? No, not XDD. I think is what it was. Converted command line hex to bin or bin to hex or whatever. Learning process, Windows fundamentals, XXD. That's it. Thank you, Who is Sin. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on our chat here. First time chatter. What? JavaScript deobfuscation. Oh, there's a good one. Boy, that's a hot mess. Let's see all the paths. Let's see what kind of paths they have here. Basic tool set. It's a medium. When I see medium, it's about the same time as I think about CVSS when somebody's like, oh yeah, this takes somebody with a moderate amount of skill, and I'm like, okay, my moderate amount of skill is probably somebody else's like super technical. This looks easy, but one person's easy is another person's hard. But I mean, hopefully that they've had enough experience that you can, they help you understand that. So the modules, so to be successful in a technical information security role, broad understanding of specialized tools. This path introduces core concepts necessary for anybody interested in a hands-on technical InfoSec role. The modules also provide essential prerequisite knowledge for joining the Hack the Box platform. Okay, through easy rated retired machines and solving live machines with no walkthroughs. Okay. So this sounds like the old, not the old Hack the Box, but it sounds like the Hack the Box where you're accessing retired machines, or you're trying to gain access to the old Hack the Box website where you actually had to solve a web challenge to get the key to, the registration key to get in. Local privilege escalation. Okay. Well, Sidestep, you're new to the game here with HTB. Which one are you interested in doing? I don't always have to drive this car, so what are you looking at doing? Because between you and Binary Rip, you show up here fairly regularly, so let's do what my audience is interested in doing instead of what I want to do all the time. Wow. Okay. SCRK. SCRK. Which one's that one? Scroll up a bit. Then there's job role paths as well. Oh, that's okay. Scroll up a bit. We can go look at the job role paths as well, I guess, if you want to do that too. They got bug bounty hunters. Oh, they have a junior pen tester as well. Interesting. Okay, but you need 2,950 of those to actually make it in. That's actually a good idea, because the junior pen tester role on Try Hack Me, I think, was probably a little beyond I think you really needed to, build up on that. So either one of those sounds good. So like the cracking into hack the box or something else. Don't ask me to do Active Directory enumeration. I'm not that smart yet. So like I said, I'm just a TPM. I'm not, oh, the job roles. Oh, well, I don't think we have enough. I don't think we have enough cubes. We need 1,410 cubes for the bug bounty one, and we need 3,000 roughly for the junior pen tester, and I have 40. So, yeah, they're going to tell me you don't have enough. No, really? Oh, wait. I guess I can do that. Buy more cubes, please. Yeah, well, the problem with buying more cubes is you have to have money to do so. So, yeah. And let me see. Student, do they have I wonder if they have a veteran discount or something. Who 5,000 cube, $500 for 5,000 cubes. That or $100 for 1,000 cubes. Oof. Okay. Yeah. I think for now, let me see how far we can get with the free side here. All right. Web requests. By clicking the unlock button below, you'll spend 10 cubes and gain access to this module. Okay. Let's go see what that's about. Yep. All right, let me pop that a little bit and make that a little bit larger for us poor folk that can't read. All right, so HTTP. The majority of the application constantly interact with the internet, both web and mobile. Most internet communications are made with web requests through the HTTP protocol. It's an application-level protocol used to access World Wide Web resources. The term hypertext stands for text containing links to other resources and text that readers can easily interpret. HTTP comms consists of a client and a server, kind of like how sound works, right? Hello, Cheeto Bandito. Oh my goodness. All right, excellent. Thank you, Cheeto, for joining us. I appreciate that. Consists of a client and a server, where the client requests the server for a resource. A server processes requests and returns a requested resource. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Yeah, see, oh, okay. My emotes work. Hot damn, look at that. That's awesome. I actually animated those. I just took some dollar signs. I just took some free dollar signs off the internet, and then Twitch has this thing where it's like you can, do this if you want. So, default port for comms is port 80, though this can be changed to any other port depending on the web server configuration. Usually, if it's not 80, it's going to be something above 1024 because those are unrestricted ports at this point. The same requests are utilized when we use the internet to visit different websites. So like port 80, port 8080, 8088, 8443, 8888 I've seen. Any iteration with an 8 in it or what have you. 8,000, I've seen 8,000 as well. So yeah, those are some typical ones that you would see HTTP running on, unlike like the previous one where you saw it was like 60,355 or something like that. So I think now that we've got 200 followers, thank you to Cheeto Bandito and Who Is Sin and all those folks. I think we'll have some VIP emotes and stuff. I think we get some additional VIP stuff. So thank you for that. I will work on some emotes and icons and maybe some sound effects and stuff this week. So see what I can come up with. Let me see. Resources over HTTP are accessed via URL, Uniform Resource Link is what it stands for, I believe, which offer many more specifications than simply specifying a website we want to visit. To look at the structure of URL, it's the scheme, the user, the host, the port, the path, the query string. We saw query strings on TryHackMe where it's like % login, so it's pretty much the variable equals true. And then the fragment. Fragment, that's a new one. Fragment. fragments are processed by the browsers on the client side to locate sections. Oh, I see. Okay, so like sometimes you've seen that when you type in, like you're looking for lyrics on a page or a line of text in an article, you click on the link and it will, like Google has this annoying habit of adding that to the end of the URL, and then it will actually scroll down inside the doc and show you exactly where it exists. I guess it's not so annoying, but it makes the URLs extremely large. So not all components are required to have access to a resource. The main mandatory fields are the scheme and the host, without which the request would have no resource to request. So you go to inlanefreight.com, goes to the DNS server. Hey, where's that? Gives you back the IP address. So take a look at this. Anytime you interview at a company and they're like, tell me about all the steps in a web request, or some janky ass question like that, this is some of what they want to ask you. But you could also just reply with, well, what are you looking for? You might want to reply back with a question if they're trying to hit you with some kind of janky question like that. Never hurts to ask for clarification on that. That way you can get to the heart of the matter, and the heart of the cards. Anyway. Diagram above represents the anatomy of an HTTP request at a very high level. That is correct. There's a bunch of other shite that happens there, but yeah. So that's not wrong. It's just a little bit high level for folk. So first time a user enters the URL. First time the user enters URL into the browser, it sends a request to DNS, domain name resolution service, or DNS is actually domain name service or domain name server, to resolve the domain and gets its IP. The DNS service server looks up the IP address of inlanefreight.com and returns it. All domain names need to be resolved this way, as the server can't communicate without an address. Some newer servers will use IPv6. So instead of a nice 4-numbered octet like this, you're going to get a quatang, one that's about with two semicolons somewhere in there, because there's going to be a ton of zeros. So until we start filling out our quadrillion numbers of IP addresses, we're going to have like ABCD, colon, ABCD 0001, something like that. And then the colon is just pretty much, there's about 16 zeros in there. Quadrangles? Quadrants? No, it's not quadrant. That's what Gartner tries to use. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Quad. It's like a tuple or quadruple or something like that. Anyway, our browsers usually look up records in the local etc hosts file first, right? It always looks on the system first and then moves out, which is why things like kind of the host blockers or ad blockers that have deny lists or whatever that you can add to your etc hosts file, you can always set it to 127.0.0.1 and it'll always look there first and then go to your outside DNS. You can have it override that, of course, but there's no point to that. Once the browser gets the IP address linked to the requested domain, it sends a GET request to the default HTTP port 80, asking for root path. Then the web server receives the request and processes it. By default, servers are configured to return index file when a request for slash is received. Sorry. And depending on your HTTP server, Nginx or Apache, I believe both of them have the option to change the start files. I remember having to change from index.html to index.php or index.pl for Perl, when we used to use Perl back in the day, way back in the day. Response also contains status code 200 OK. That's one of the HTTP codes we learned about. All the 200s are pretty much like, whether the transaction worked out or not. And then your 400 are your not founds, 503s are your server error codes, like 503, bad internal server error. Yeah, 503. Which indicates the request was successfully processed. The web browser then renders index.html contents, presents it to the user. Note, This module is focused mainly on HTTP web requests. For more on HTML web applications, you may want to refer to this module. CURL, so curl or CURL or client URLs, command line tools, really great. We've used it several times on TryHackMe. When the inspection, when this thing didn't work. So the couple times that we played with this, and this did not work out for us on a couple of the examples, we ended up, I think, with Sidestep or a couple of other folks, told me to plug it into CURL, and that worked out. There's also wget. I think Pavuk, P-A-V-U-K. No, P-A-V-U-K. Yeah, open source web grabber, yeah. I don't know who those people are, but, oh, that one's old. Okay, so that shows you how long ago it's been since I used Pavuk. It hasn't been updated since 2007, but it's still around. It's an option if you don't want to use wget or what have you. Anyway, all right, so we see that CURL or curl does not render the HTML JavaScript or style sheets, unlike a web browser, but prints it in a raw format. There's also text web browsers like, I believe eLinks is one. I used to use eLinks quite a bit on OpenBSD. I don't know if it's still maintained or not, but there are text-based browsers. I don't know how well they work in the land of a bunch of JavaScript rendering, but they were an option back in the day. However, as pen testers, we are mainly interested in the request and response context, which usually becomes much faster and more convenient than a web browser. We may also use curl to download a page or a file and output the content to a file using the -O flag. That's not a 0, that's the letter O. If we want to specify the file name, we can use the smaller O flag and specify the name. Otherwise, we can use the capital O, and curl will use the remote file name as follows. Curl, capital O, inlanefreight.com/index.html, and then you'll save the file. So, which is sometimes good. Excuse me. As we can see, the output was not printed this time, but rather saved in index.html. We notice curl still printed some status. While processing the request, we can silence the status with the -S as shown. This time curl did not print anything as the output was saved in index.html. Finally, we may use the H flag to see what other options. So yeah, like we did with uname, uname-h, there's all these different commands. And I believe curl has a ton of other things as well, not just certain switches. So there's a whole list of things there, yeah. So there's more detailed information about specific flags or different documentation there. Yeah, and you can man curl it up real nicely if you want to. Let me see if I can refresh my box here. Something went wrong. The connection is closed. I can't do that, Dave. Okay. I'll have to get a new web server. Oh, 0 of 1 spawns left. In the upcoming sections, we'll cover most of the above flags and see where we should use each of them. Click here to spawn target system. All right, to get the flag, use curl to download the file returned by download PHP in the server above. Oh boy. Okay. All right, free users are allowed 1 pwnbox spawn per day. No. Great. I broke it. I broke my spawn box. Oh well. Yeah, no, I'm dead. Yeah, sidestep. I got arg. All right. Well, I'll have to figure out what we're gonna do. I may have to break out the credit card and melt it down. This stream thing has been an interesting bit. Anyway, we can. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, we're a little further along than I thought we would be. I was telling everybody before the raid happened, my wife went and got RLE, so she's in post-op care right now. But so here's a cheat sheet just in case, so you can go and take a look. I don't know if the answers are in here. I can't imagine they would be, but these are various curl examples on how to do things. Looks like. basic get request. This is silent and save the index.html. I'm assuming what we're going to have to do is this, but do index.php, and that will pull down the PHP file. Then we'll just view the PHP file using more or VI or cat. You could also cat it, and that will do that. Oh, cat, yeah, -k. Yeah, there are a ton of other. Let me go. Curl man page. There we go. Curl.se. Yeah. Okay. So there's a ton of things here that you can do. Protocols. It supports numerous protocols. Online dictionaries. You can read and write local files. You can FTP or FTPS with or without TLS. If you can find a Gopher site, you can actually do the Gopher stuff for retrieving files. I think some research sites still have Gopher potentially. You can actually read email and do IMAP and POP3 and POP3S and IMAP-S. Do an LDAP lookup, which technically, I don't want to say that. Active Directory uses, it's a flavor of LDAP, runs on 389 or 3389. It could be possible for you to run an LDAP lookup or an LDAP query through with curl. You would probably need to have some authentication mechanism, either a token or something to allow that. I'm not going to say you can do that, but I just saw LDAP and I was like, oh, maybe you can do AD lookups with that. Of course, you can do SCP or SFTP, depending on which one. Okay, yeah, no problem. Sidestep. I'm gonna have to as well. Today was a long day for me, so I'm only gonna be on here for about another 8 to 10 minutes. But yeah, I mean, TFTP downloads. Parrot OS is interesting. It's it's another pen testing distro. I think Black Arch is another good one. Of course, Kali. Everybody knows about Kali Linux. Obviously, Hack the Box is not going to use Kali Linux because they're a competitor. So it is what it is. But yeah, if you can, I don't know if you can see the scroll bar here, but I mean, you've got a ton. The man page that they have just kind of scratched the surface on this. I mean, you've got so many different options here, and different flags and different switches for various things for curl. I mean, it is truly the kitchen sink of downloading things. I believe it has more than wget. You can even supply certs, cert types. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. So basic auth or using a CA cert. It even uses some AWS signature authentication stuff. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, it just literally goes forever. So, and it even does scripting. So if you needed to do some scripting or what have you. Yeah, Backtrack became Kali. But yeah, Hack the Box is not going to use a competitor's Linux version for that. So there's even if you wanted to get easier, or I actually eschewed. Let me see, pen tester framework. God dog it, man. There we go. Yeah, pen tester framework. TrustedSec puts out PTF. I'm not sure if it's more up to date, but what they use, they have a list of things you can download and install, and it's maintained by just going to the various Git websites or downloading it from those sites and building it accordingly. So there's more than one way to do it. The reason I liked PTF was you could just run a vanilla Debian or a vanilla Ubuntu or what have you if you wanted to, and then just put whatever tools you needed using PTF to do so. But yeah, so I think I'm going to need to go. I think I've done as much as I can tonight. I'm going to talk to some folks about what it would take to get me some, $490 a year is a little rough. Considering I'm just a wee little streamer here. The thing is, I could do $18 a month, but it's like, if I don't use it every month, am I wasting that money? So I know a lot of people, $18 isn't a lot, but if you go a year and don't use it, that's almost what, $200 or something. So yeah, I'll look at it. If I do this, then I may drop the Try Hack Me stuff. I'll need to talk to my mentee and see what he wants to do. But yeah, maybe I'll talk to them about getting a sponsorship. maybe they'll sponsor us. I don't know. Let's see. If we can get them on to do some stuff on a regular basis. So. Yeah, so anybody have any other questions, thoughts, Cheeto Bandito, anything you'd like to talk about? Who is Sin? Thank you all for coming. I do appreciate the raid. I do appreciate y'all for sticking around. I know that's probably not something that happens often. I do appreciate that. We're just about a month old here, and 27th I think will be our whole month here, did not know that I did not know that InfoSec existed on Twitch. Everything seemed to be Valorant or Elder Ring or what have you. So I do appreciate MT Taggart and the InfoSec group, the Discord for the friendly welcome and letting me know that existed. We were very cliquey in the InfoSec world. You have InfoSec Twitter, and then it's like nobody knows about the InfoSec Twitch. It's odd. I mean, we're a nice little collective bunch. I say we. It's been a nice collective little bunch, and it's something you don't hear about a lot. I think RallySec was on here once, but I don't know. They're not doing anything hardly anymore except gaming. It's just interesting to see, that there are folks on here that are interested in this stuff and do far more technical stuff than I do. I saw some of the stuff MT Taggart was working with last night, and a couple of other folks, and I was like, phew. I don't do CI/CD pipeline stuff. I mean, I work with people who do CI/CD pipeline stuff. And yeah, I don't know anything about Rust. So I was actually, interested in understanding what was going on over there. And I don't come from a programming background, so I do find that people who can do that stuff quite fascinating. So I do appreciate everybody for coming. There's some weird looking icons on this desktop. Anyway. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I'd love to spend 4 hours on a stream here, but I have my wife and daughter and yeah, I just haven't worked up that far yet. What I probably will do here in the next month or so is maybe take a Friday off from work and then stream like a 8 to 12 hour thing. Try to get some people who can come on and, shoot shit with me and everything. And, because it's just me right now, but Miss Berlin wants to get on and do some stuff. She's talking about doing some lunch and learns during her lunch hours at Blue Mira. And, if we can get that happening, then I'm all in on that. So it won't just be me eventually. It'll be other folks. So we're trying to build our community here. So it's not just going to be just me every day. I know everyone will get tired of me eventually. But, yeah, do appreciate everybody for taking the time. And, Sidestep, let me know how Parrot OS goes on setup. What VM system you use, if it's VirtualBox or Parallels, or you're going to install it on a EC2 instance, or good old VMware or whatever. Just let me know. Or Zen, Zen, if you're going to use Zen, just let me know what you're using. Oh, Hyper-V, it could be Hyper-V as well. But yeah, just let me know what you're thinking about on there and what you get out of that. And hope everyone has a good night, and take care of yourselves. And yeah, we'll see you again tomorrow. And yeah, take care, and thanks again.